Out of this story, a search is underway for a hacker who caused panic and confusion in Dallas by triggering all of the city's emergency sirens at the same time. The system was hacked just before midnight Friday. All 156 sirens in Dallas blared intermittently for more than an hour and a half. The 911 center was flooded with more than 4,400 calls from concerned residents. The sirens are intended to warn people of incoming severe weather. City officials said the hack originated in the Dallas area, and they are working with the Federal Communications Commission to look for a suspect. CBS News contributor Nicholas Thompson is editor-in-chief of Wired. Nick, good morning.
Good morning, Norah.
How could something like this happen?
Well, we don't know exactly. They haven't said exactly how it was hacked, but there is an interesting trade-off which does explain it, which is that when you have a system like an emergency warning system, you want it to be pretty easy to operate in a tough situation, which means you make it pretty simple to set off. So it also is something that's relatively simple to hack. What I think probably happened is they are activated by radio transmissions, most likely, and probably somebody figured out the frequency with which they're operated and figured out whatever encryption they use in Dallas and then set them off for whatever reason.
And what would be their motivation?
Well, one hypothesis is that it's just a kid doing a stunt. Another motivation is it's a disgruntled city employee trying to show how weak the system is. The most nefarious explanation would be it's somebody trying to cover up something else. You set off all the emergency sirens, you jam 911, you can do whatever you want in a city.
How vulnerable are our municipal infrastructures overall to this kind of hacking?
I think quite vulnerable. And the reason is that you don't suspect someone is going to do it, right? You run a bank. You know people are going to try to steal the money, so you set up a lot of protections. You have a bunch of tornado warning sirens. You're not going to think that somebody's going to go, oh, let's set off the tornado warning siren system, because there's no reason to. So you don't really build up the defenses. You don't train the defenses, and then something like this happens.
So how do you upgrade the security around this kind of infrastructure?
Well, you have to change the encryption, right? So if it is a radio signal, again, we don't know that. That's not confirmed. But the fact that the FCC is investigating kind of suggests that it is. So what you do is you have a better encryption key, right? So some signal is sent to the towers to set it off. Presumably you have some kind of encryption set to the time. You have some kind of special password or something. Maybe you set up another layer so it's a little harder to crack into what it is.
Well, it's a sign of the times, and too many people can hack too many things.
Right, exactly. This is something we are going to see a lot more of. We've seen lots of attempts to try to hack it. What is so interesting here is they said it was somebody in Dallas, it was not somebody remote. So it wasn't somebody sitting in another country, it wasn't somebody sitting in New York saying, let's set off the Dallas systems. It's somebody in Dallas. They have confirmed that, they do know that. So that suggests it's not sort of remote entry computer problem, which is what we keep seeing so frequently.
Sowing chaos. Nick
Yes,
Thompson,
absolutely.
always good to see you. Thanks as always.
Thank you. I wasn't sowing chaos here.
No, you were not. You were not. We're speaking of the hacker.